Hello to all astrology enthusiasts. In this video, I want to discuss the full moon in the zodiac sign of Leo, which took place on February 12th, 2025. And the full moon in Leo occurs exactly at 24:25 degrees, closing the period from August 4th, 2024. The waning moon will last until February 28th, 2025. Before we examine the features of this full moon, let me remind you that a full moon is always a moment when the sun and the moon are positioned at opposite points in the zodiac, and these are two zodiac signs directly opposite each other. The phenomenon itself, the astrological event, symbolizes a culmination, a completion, a revelation of some information, illumination. And here, there is a transition from a closed state to an open one, from the internal to the external. We usually have a full moon once a month, and each time it is associated with a specific theme according to the zodiac sign, and is activated in a particular area of life depending on which house of the horoscope it occurs in for you. The full moon, in principle, is a period when the moon's energy reaches its peak, and the moon, for us, it is associated with emotions, the subconscious intuition and internal processes. At the moment of the full moon, it can awaken some hidden or suppressed feelings or vivid experiences. For us, the full moon is always very emotional, or there is a revelation of some significant information that has long remained in the shadows, which we either did not notice or did not want to see. This is especially noticeable in those areas of life that are related to the house of the horoscope. This can pertain to personal life, family matters, and professional self-realization, and the full moon kind of creates tension, but it also provides an opportunity to free ourselves from what no longer serves us. And it sort of spills out accumulated emotions and helps us complete important tasks. Moreover, during these 2 weeks when the waning moon is active, we have the opportunity to finish certain things, complete something, see something, clearly gain clarity, and obtain results from some of our actions. In general, astrologically, the full moon reveals a certain truth. The moon is on the opposite side of the sun, and the sun illuminates some significant things in our lives. Now let's consider the features of the full moon, specifically in the zodiac sign of Leo. This is a time when our energy strives for self-expression and recognition. In general, the zodiac sign Leo, it is closely associated with creativity, drama, themes of pride, and themes of love for life. This is symbolically the fifth house, which is also connected to our inner sun, so to speak. And the full moon in this sign activates the desire to express oneself, to be noticed, to be recognized. This is a moment when our self-expression comes to the forefront. We begin to actively seek ways to draw attention to ourselves, to our talents, to our achievements. And this can be a time for completing some creative projects or relationships that, to some extent, we're connected with demonstrating one's uniqueness. Moreover, the full moon in Leo emphasizes the importance of balancing our personal needs with the needs of others. Leo is ambitious and very proud, focused on itself, but it also symbolizes love and care for others. And this is a time when it's important to pay attention to how much our actions bring joy, inspire those around us, and the energy of the full moon in Leo. It can motivate us to complete some unsuccessful projects or to leave and exit from some romantic relationships that no longer bring us joy and do not give us any confidence or pleasure in life. The ruler, this full moon, is the sun, and the sun is a direct participant in this astrological event. Its energy here precisely enhances the theme of leadership and decision-making. That is, this is a period when it is important to be honest, open, have the courage to express your desires and needs, and heart. The energy of the full moon itself will be favorable for boosting your self-esteem and gaining self-confidence. start acting more boldly, especially in those areas where there is a theme of realization, a theme of personal self-expression. Moreover, let's look at the symbolism of the degrees. Firstly, I would like to draw attention initially to the degrees where the new moon in Alba occurred in August 2024. These were the 12th, 13th degrees. When we understand where everything started and where we need to go, the available information becomes clearer and more structured, revealing what is actually happening. So the 12th, 13th degrees of Leo. In the 12th degree, the symbol shows us an image or picture of a party of adults on a lawn illuminated at night with colorful lanterns. That is, it's a kind of group or team relaxation in a very fashionable setting and a peculiar escape from work routine. Here, the theme of social self-expression is emphasized, the theme of social interaction, pleasures, involvement in some collective processes. This is the moment when the energy of Leo unfolds not only individually, but also in a team, in an environment, and in the ability to create a festive atmosphere, inspire other people, and involve these other people in these processes. And at the same time, one can gain recognition among like-minded individuals or surrounding people. But this symbol also points to a certain artificiality of what is happening. That is, for example, a fashionable setting or some kind of lighting, or certain conversations in this symbol point precisely to social conventions, to certain rituals that, well, may not always be more filled with simple and human truth. And here the themes of public image may become relevant. The desire to make an impression depending on social approval is the time when we can realize how much our self-presentation actually aligns with our internal state, or on the contrary, how much we are playing this game and adapting to external expectations. That is here. This 12th degree shows us such a picture. 13 degrees, or it appears to us in the form of an image of an old sea captain who is on the veranda of his cottage. And this symbol here, in simple terms, carries the theme of mature awareness of the path traveled, summing up, rethinking some experience. And here there is a moment of expressing a desire for some external activity, sociality, socialization, fulfillment of some social will. Here is the energy of the lion. It finds expression in such deep inner harmony, in self-respect, wisdom, acceptance of life cycles. And the symbol itself, here it already demonstrates to us the importance of the experience accumulated through the storms and tempests of life. The opportunity to gain some inner wholeness through the realization of one's victories or defeats, the moment when one can look back and see how far one has come using the previous degree as well. That is, when we are involved in such artificially created situations, what they lead to, what outcome, what experience they provide us. And if we now return to this full moon in Leo, which occurred on February 12th, and take a look, the degrees of this full moon are 24 to 25 degrees. Here the energy has shifted to a completely different perception, and the 24th degree, for us it is represented as a person who is in a state of complete denial, both of their physical appearance and the surroundings, everything happening around, and they are completely focused on some internal spiritual achievements. This is a completely different outcome that we could have reached. The course of this period, while the new moon in Leo was active, and here the emphasis is placed on the theme of deep internal transformation, self-discipline, and complete focus on one's internal values. And here, the energy was previously directed towards some external manifestations of recognition and self-expression, but here the focus shifts precisely to the inner world, which completely removes any external social conditioning. That is, during this full moon, we must understand our true spiritual development, where we are heading, what we want. So what is the focus of our life directed towards? That is, this is the moment when we can realize that the path to our real self-realization occurs precisely through immersion in oneself, through the ability to withstand perhaps periods of isolation, through some kind of internal concentration. That is, our external world completely ceases to play any significant role. And in the context of the full moon, this can be a deep realization that not all achievements are measured by some visible external success, true value. It can be found precisely within us. This degree also reminds us that Leo is not only the energy of radiance and leadership, but also a sign that can direct its strength inwardly. Recognize your true nature without external decorations. A full moon in such a position can manifest as the realization of the need, for example, to reassess your priorities, to let go of some superficial pursuits, and find a deeper meaning. That is, this is a period when questions of inner purpose and spiritual path may become more acute. The necessity to focus energy on what truly matters in our lives, and perhaps, to some extent, to give up certain external habitual pleasures or some kind of external glitter. Additionally, the background aspects that are active during this full moon provide us with an extra layer of energy. The moon will be in opposition to Mercury in Aquarius, creating tension between our emotions, our mind, our thinking, between personal feelings and the thought processes that Mercury in Aquarius gives us. The moon in Leo seeks bright self-expression. It demands recognition. It wants emotional involvement. Mercury acts very rationally, detached, unconventionally. It prefers to analyze instead of experiencing emotions, and as a result, we feel an internal split. That is to say, our heart says one thing, while our mind says something completely different. And here, a conflict can occur precisely between our emotional reactions and thinking. There can, for example, arise a desire, for instance, to openly express one's feelings, but at the same time, doubt arises. Is this right? How will another person or other people perceive it? It also wants a dramatic, sincere display of emotions, while Mercury is cunning. It makes us analyze the situation, makes us think about the consequences, and this, of course, can also create discomfort conditionally. This happens in those areas of life where the moon and Mercury are located, and they create this aspect. It can also lead to misunderstandings and arguments in communication. For instance, one person expresses their thoughts emotionally and expects a certain response. Meanwhile, the other person thinks coldly and logically, not taking into account the feelings of the interlocutor. Ultimately, this can lead to irritation or comments and the feeling that you are not understood or that your experiences are being devalued. For example, it's that moment when we want to share our emotions with a close person, for instance, but instead of offering support, they start analyzing the situation, saying that it's not so bad, and this can cause either irritation or resentment. When this aspect is in effect, it's important to find a balance between feelings and reason. And for instance, if there is a desire to express oneself emotionally, it is worth trying in advance to think about how to convey your feelings so that the interlocutor understands them and does not perceive them as drama. In general, this aspect gives us the opportunity to learn to consciously express our emotions, to communicate attentively, and find the golden mean between our heart and mind. Moreover, this aspect also relates to the asteroid series, and here additional tension is created between emotional under our needs, recognition in care, warmth, and a more detached, rational, collective approach to these issues of care and support, because Ceres, like Mercury, is also in Aquarius. And here one of the key themes of this aspect is precisely related to the contradiction between individual and collective needs in care. That is, this asteroid in Aquarius, the asteroid series, suggests providing care on a more intellectual and social level through subtitles made by Dima Turzok. Let's say equal relationships. This can lead to situations where we want personal recognition, emotional closeness, but the surrounding people perceive it more as a desire to receive support, some idea or inspiration or communication on equal terms without showing warmth. There is also another aspect at work here. The sun highlights the theme of the black moon through the aspect of Regan. And the black moon is located in the forests. The aspect itself is considered harmonious and creates a very powerful flow of energy, specifically related to the awareness of our shadow sides, which manifest in social interactions, partnerships, and any personal relationships. The aspect itself can provide unexpected clarity in relationships, especially where there was insincerity, some manipulations, or dependence on others' opinions. The sun in Aquarius symbolizes freedom, awareness, and unconventional thinking, and the black moon in Libra brings up our deep fears, which are precisely related to partnership, compromises, and our social reputation. And here, considering that this aspect is harmonious, it can reveal the truth and help us free ourselves from illusions in communication with those around us. And the intrigue itself also helps us strengthen our sense of personal independence. It can push us to reconsider how much the external world affects our self-esteem. The black moon also touches on the theme of social approval, but with the involvement of the sun, we may suddenly realize that we don't need to conform to others' expectations to be accepted. And furthermore, the aspect works very well in the realm of creativity because the black moon, in a way, gives us the opportunity to activate our creativity, creative potential. And here, very powerful inspiration may come from some ideas or opportunities to participate in unconventional projects. The energy of the tribunes itself needs to be captured and used to your advantage because it creates very favorable conditions for advancement in various areas of life. It is also important to consider that during this full moon, the sun is parallel in a square to the asteroid Juno, and Juno is in Scorpio. The aspect itself creates tension in areas of partnership, in matters of personal freedom and pleasantness. And it can activate a conflict between our desire for independence and very deep emotional attachments. In general, the sun in Aquarius symbolizes freedom, individuality, and a rational approach. And the asteroid Juno, considering that it is still in Scorpio, is associated with intense transformative relationships where passion is important, where there is room for control, and where there is emotional depth. And when a square occurs, these two energies collide, creating situations in which we may feel either too constrained by partnership commitments, or we may experience jealousy, distrust, fear, and loss. And of course, this aspect also can play a certain role during this full moon in Leo. I also want to draw attention here to the harmonious aspect of the sun. which is in a trine with the star Spica, the fixed star Spica. And this aspect brings us a very powerful flow of inspiration, luck, and opportunities, especially in the field of intellectual, creative, and spiritual activities. In general, the star Spica is one of the most favorable stars, which symbolizes talents in astrology, a blessing of divine gift. Connecting in aspect with the sun through a trine, it kind of enhances our charisma, it activates our creative abilities, it brings us success through knowledge and unconventional thinking. And in addition, the Aquarian energy of the sun, it emphasizes uniqueness, innovation, original self-expression, and some unconventional ideas. And when there is an aspect with this star, it can provide an opportunity for enlightenment, for brilliant ideas, unexpected opportunities to realize one's talent. And the sun conjunct Spica can manifest as a breakthrough in the intellectual or creative sphere. There might be situations with increased charisma or receiving recognition, or successful opportunities will open up. You will receive sudden support. There will be such harmony between our logic and intuition. A very good aspect. I wish you to catch this energy, use it to your advantage, and let's consider the effects of the full moon in Leo for the 12 zodiac signs. Sagittarius, the full moon in Ulva, in your 9th house of the horoscope, activates themes related to expanding your worldview, your horizons, the pursuit of knowledge, travel, long-distance journeys, especially and generally themes of spiritual beliefs. The 9th house is associated with higher education, trips abroad, and any foreign contacts, with publishing activities, teaching activities, legal matters. And here, precisely at the full moon, you may receive a result, you may get some outcome of your efforts over the past 6 months. The full moon itself will create situations for you where, for example, an educational process may come to an end. For instance, you embarked on a long course of study, and right now you will achieve a certain result in the process of acquiring knowledge. Either you will complete a thesis or courses or receive some kind of educational certificate. There may be trips, long journeys, even relocations. Perhaps now you will receive the necessary documents, arrange the paperwork for relocation. And here, there will be situations precisely related to your worldview, your perspective, something that could have influenced your beliefs and attitudes. Here you can summarize, for example, publishing activities. Perhaps right now you have published a book, publications, or are completing some projects, business partnerships related to foreign contacts, or you may decide, for example, to marry a foreigner. The full moon also provides the corresponding energies to ground the energies of the full moon in Leo in your 9th house. Pay attention to these areas of life. You can engage in meditations, writing practices, and various spiritual practices because the 9th house is closely connected with our spiritual development. You can embark on a journey that you have been planning for a long time. You can, for example, plan some new educational processes, participate in some intercultural projects. And in general, it's very beneficial here to communicate with people who are at a distance abroad. In any case, I wish you success. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Bye-bye.